Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are live down at Phoenix where somebody's going to get burned. Actually, there's going to be four people going to get burnt tonight as they are not going to make it to the next round as we go into the round of 8 after tonight at Phoenix. You can see right there at the point standings, we have got Trey Jackson that is one above the cut line, and Travis Dart, who is setting one below the cut line. Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do real quick. Before they start into qualifying and everything, we are going to yank up here Mr. Trey Jackson, if I can find him. There he is. And have a quick little word with him. Hey
Still
Trey, this is Jeremy up here in the booth, bud. How you doing?
good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to see some excitement. You're setting 1 point above the cut line. Where's your nerves at tonight?
Oh, we good. We just go. We need to qualify good up front and try to get some stage points. Main thing. That's the problem I've had all years. Not being able to collect many stage points. Tonight I need to come away 4, 5, 6 stage points at least.
I see you've been putting in the practice, and you're running pretty good time on the practice. Anything you think you can gonna do to try to change that setup so you can maybe put Cameron in your rear view?
I don't know about that. He's pretty fast. I ain't figured out a way to catch him yet, but if he wrecks or something, I might be able to.
Yeah, them chrome bumpers. Accidents happen here at Phoenix, especially through that dog leg. Just saying, you never know.
Yeah, you can't never tell. But we'll do the best we can, and maybe we can sneak in and get to the next round. Hopefully.
Well, you're sitting right there at the last spot of it, so you're good as of right now. I think as long as you have a pretty decent race, hopefully you'll be all right because we're actually pulling for you on this side of the track. So go get them tonight, man.
All right, appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
That was Mr. Trey Jackson, who, as you can see right there, he is setting at negative or +1 off the cut line. The next one I'm gonna drag up here is he's setting one below the cut line. I'm gonna get Mr. Travis Dart up here. Hopefully he ain't in the middle of a strategy talk and we ain't interrupting anything. Travis, it's Jeremy up here in the booth, bud. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you are. We just talked to Trey. He's setting one above the cut line, and you are setting one below the cut line going into the round of 8 next week. Where's your mentality kind of setting at right now?
First things first, focus on the stage. You can pick up some points there. My goal is to, of course, just beat Trey, Nate, and Chris Stitz tonight. If I could beat one of those three, I think I should be in. My first goal is to have a good stage and get some points there, and then figure out what I need to do to make it in the second stage.
Well, what about Cameron? Do you think there's any way to stopping him?
Cameron?
Yeah, other than wrecking, any way of stopping him?
Um, I mean, the only other way of stopping him would have been if Ken Campbell was racing tonight because he is pretty good here in the trucks. Other than that, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody has the long run speed to keep up with him. He is pretty good. I mean, he's very good at all tracks for the most part. There are some that are his kryptonite, but I don't think Phoenix is one of them.
How are you feeling about Phoenix?
I'm good at it. I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty good at it. My goal is to get a top four, top five tonight, so that's what I'm hoping for.
All right, we just wanted to yank you up here real quick and kind of get where you was feeling at and how your mindset was right before qualifying. So we're gonna cut you back loose, back to your team, and maybe y'all can come out with some 1, 2, 3s and maybe put Cameron in the back burner.
Yep, hopefully so.
All right, brother. We appreciate your time and good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, that right there was Travis Dart. He is one below the cutoff line, so he has got a lot riding on this one. I believe his qualifying is starting. It's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to see Bill Dart. Looks like he rolled out first. Tonight is the Valley of the Sun at 150. I think that's a song, or there's a lyrics to the song off that. Richard will be joining me shortly. He is probably down at the snack bar again. If anybody's around with us.
Yeah, I picked up some peanut M&Ms if you want some.
Oh man, them are the best right there. The yellow package,
Absolutely.
the share size.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
The
definitely.
blue ones are my favorite. Well, as I'm getting ready to load in here and join you and watching this qualifying. Sorry, had a bit of updates to do.
Yeah, I think everybody out there had that good old update today. I know it took me a pretty good while, so hopefully it all work out for you. But right now we got Cole Shetty who has snagged the pole. And you know, I was watching Cameron Dart, putting the power team there together. I was watching Cameron Sarton in practice, and he seemed to be having issues coming out of the dog leg. I don't know if he was just pushing it to see how far he could push it or what, but I don't know how he may not. This may not turn out to be his race.
Well, Phoenix is a tough track to run. This is one of my favorite tracks to run. And you know, even though I do really well here, it still catches me every now and again. And actually, I'm going to say it's one of the toughest tracks, to try to figure out.
Yeah, especially with the dog leg in it, it makes it a whole different angle because muscle memory tells you to stay above the yellow line, but track regulations say you can cut it right there. So
yeah. Now, even though cutting the dog leg is the shortest distance around the track, it is not the fastest. So, will we see these guys use that dog leg? Yes, we will. But is it really going to help them in the long run? I don't believe so.
Got to fix that.
As I'm sitting here watching Brandon Pierce, looks like he is done, but well, it looks like Cameron Sarton is right now on the pole.
Got a little oopsie on my end.
Oh no, looks like we got a new follower about an hour ago, George Moore. Appreciate that. And also Remy about 8 hours ago. Ryan Lynch finished up his laps. You know, even though he is starting 15, he's got one of my favorite paint schemes out there. That's going to be USAA. They take care of your all military families, insurance, bank accounts, your credit cards, whatever you need. If you're a military vet, definitely check, or active military, definitely check out USAA.
Well, I think we need to contact them. They can compensate us for that plug right there.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, what are you thinking tonight, Richard? How are you feeling about how it's going to play out? We know Cameron's locked in. We saw the points where we've got a few that's right there. I mean, Trey Jackson and Travis Dart. Travis has got to have a good race tonight. I mean, there's no question about it. He has to if he wants to get inside that round of 8.
Well, I'm thinking we might see a little bit more aggressive driving tonight. Okay, you got Cameron Sarton, Medellin, Brandon Pierce, Chris Essery, a lot of good people up in that top 8. Cole, he's up there. But I think you're going to see some of these guys down below start getting a little bit more aggressive.
I mean, you've got Brian Burchett. He's sitting in the last spot in the playoffs. He's 12 and he's 15 down, with Brian Lynch being 10 down. So it's going to be one of those. And the team standings, I mean, RB Motorsports is 14-10 and Hack Racing Team's 10-7 or 14-07. So they both got 5 wins each and 3-point difference. So, I mean, right there's, also with the team standings, it's going to be wild tonight for that final 8.
Yeah, it is, and I can't wait to watch this race. It's always a fun track to be at. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and they are getting gridded up.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be, and it's 150 laps, so this ain't going to be necessarily a short race.
Hey, send that link to Discord, by the way.
Well, we've got Miss Rita Evans out there. She's pulling for the where's he starting? He is starting in 7th. Chris Essery. But I think it's going to be a pretty wild one.
I believe so too. I got that way too high. 150 laps. It's definitely going to be interesting. You got turns, 1 and 2. 2 can get really loose, especially on older tires. Turn 4 can be a really tight turn, so we might see a couple guys brush up against the wall.
That pace car is going ahead and getting out of the way, Richard. I think this is fixing to be where it's at. I'm going to tell y'all what, if you ain't here, you better tell your friends and family to get their asses over here, because it's fixing to get hot down here in Phoenix.
Always about to get hot and heavy. All right, Cameron Sarton is taking the green flag right now, hitting that Geico restart zone. And Cameron Sarton trying to use that dog leg for the advantage, and he definitely does have the advantage, but the 38 is going to try to take away the second position from the 22 of Chris Stitz. Chris Stitz trying to give it all he has on that outside lane. That outside lane can carry a lot of momentum, as you've seen. He just darted right around Brandon Pierce.
And Cameron's, we've got Nate Lynch who's swinging it wide, and Cole Shady is turned around and picked up by Dylan Glass.
Oh no!
There on the front stretch, and that's one of the first times we've seen a caution this early in one of the races. And Cole does not need that, as he's sitting in 4th on the points, Richard.
Yeah, that's definitely something he does not need, but luckily there is a fast repair. Oh, and looks like Brandon Pierce had to tow it, so that's going to put him multiple laps down.
Pierce, who is in 3rd in the playoffs. Oh man, it's already starting to get a little shaken up already.
Let's go back and take a look and see exactly what happened there. Pierce went for a tumble. I'm just telling you right now, he was tumbling down the backstretch. So you have the 42 of Cole Shetty. Looks like the 25 gave him a little bit of bump in that left rear bumper, and that gets him loose. Brandon Pierce was not a part of that. Looks like he just brought it down wide, so that's why you saw the 25 go really wide. Brandon Pierce just got loose all on his own. His truck he was a little bit sideways, and his truck just darted right, hit the wall, and started flipping over coming out of turn 4. And 12 did end up hitting the wall. You had the 19 of Curtis Ecker. It looks like he had a little bit of damage, probably from somebody checking up. The 48 come out with no damage, even though the 38 brushed the side of his truck. But
You know, right there you had the second, 3, and 4th, and the points just get caught up in that wreck. So that's really fixing to change a lot of stuff up, especially you've got Trey Jackson who's moved up to the 7th. Travis Dart's hanging into the 6th. So if Travis can beat Trey, he may have a shot at getting in there.
still a lot of work to do here at Phoenix. So I wouldn't count these guys out just yet. I mean, if they can go in and get a fast repair done, we might see them later on in the race. Brandon Pierce, I don't exactly know because I don't know the extent of his damage. I know he had to tow it. He's still showing in the pits.
Too early, too quick. Seeing, he's got the potential, but maybe sitting in 3rd, that's giving him enough cushion where he can still squeeze in to the round of 8. I tell you, I'm loving this West Coast swing we've got here. Phoenix, then next week we head to Vegas.
Oh yeah, Vegas is one of my favorite tracks to watch, to run. All right, as we see the camera starting, going to take the restart again. Hits that Geico restart zone, and he is off like a rocket with a 22 in pursuit of that 24. The one of Curtis Essery has worked his way up to 3rd, and Nate Lynch is working on the 3rd place of Chris Essery. Taking the inside, which is a safe route to go, and he's going to drift out to that wall, but he's going to fall right back in line behind the one there. 6 of Travis Dart. He is looking pretty strong early on here in this race. He's going to come out of turn number 4, and he's going to try that apron, or that dog leg, should I say. Try to carry some momentum coming in turn number 1. Not going to quite get there to the 25, so he's just going to stay right where he's at. But back here behind him, there is quite a bit of side-by-side. You got Curtis Ecker working on the 48 of Sam Siegel. Curtis Ecker trying to get there before turn number 2, and the 48 is spinning. Sam Siegel has crashed, so we have under our second caution at lap 8.
And I think that might have just been that back end got a little bit loose from him. As I'm not for sure if there was any contact on that or not.
No, I was on that, and I did not see any contact. Oh, maybe there was right behind.
Little net code, more or less than anything.
And that is going to be Philip Chavez right there behind him. And well, looks like there's contact, but it can't be too absolute on that. I don't see any damage.
I know where 100% contact was at, and that was his rear bumper and that wall. And that wall won that.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of net code. I mean, you could see some daylight in between those two trucks looking at it from different angles. You can definitely see some daylight in between those two trucks, so that could have been net code. So that's going to be our second caution, and that's going to allow... That's probably going to send him to the pits, get that fast repair, maybe, depending on how much damage he has.
You know, I'm beginning to think Andrew Menlin may have got caught up in something, because every caution he's been coming into the pits, every lap around, he'll come into the pits, get a little bit of damage fixed, and he shoots right back out.
So Andrew Menlin did get caught up in that first caution. He scraped the wall. He got a little bit of right side damage to his truck. Not where we're used to seeing him.
And He's sitting in second in points. He's another one kind of like Brandon Pierce. He's got some cushion, but he's only got about 63 points above the cut line, which is fairly decent. But it's 30 more than Brandon Pierce has got, so I'm not worried near as much about Andrew as I would be Brandon on that.
Well, I do have to say one of our biggest movers of the race is going to be that number 19, that SBRN truck driven by Curtis Ecker. He is up 8 positions from where he started, and you have Ryan Lynch right there in front of him. He's up 7 positions running in the 8th spot in that USAA truck. So great job by these two. Even though it's early, they've had a few cautions, you know, they're still making ground up slowly but surely.
Yeah, and Ryan Lynch, I mean, he's sitting in the 11th on points. I mean, he's 10 out from the cut line. So, I mean, you know, from about 7 to 12, there's only 16 points separating.
Yeah, it's very close racing. iRacing 13, Cameron going for 4 in a row, baby.
We have 4 Pete. Gotta watch how we word that. I remember one time we worded it and it sounded pretty bad. Never put an ER on the end of it.
All right, that pace car is going to dive off, and Douglas out there saying, I don't like the new start-finish line. I liked it the way it was before, better before. All right, it looks like Andrew Medlin is catching up. The 48 is catching up, and it looks like Brandon Pierce is back out on the track.
He's only 2 laps down, so that's not too bad considering the way the cautions have been flying.
Chris Essery right on the back bumper of that 24. They both get a pretty good restart, and Chris Essery is going to challenge the 22 for that second position. He's going to have the spot as of right now. 22 is not able to take the spot back over, so he's going to drop to third. Nate Lynch is running in at fourth, running in the 4th position in that Regs Custom. And the 4, Brian Burchett working on the outside of Travis Dart, and he's going to take over that 5th position. Great moves early on here in the race.
Yeah, Brian's fighting for all he can. He's in the last spot in that round of 12 right now, so he's 15 out. So he's going to be fighting for any kind of stage points, anything he can get to give him a cushion or catch up with Trey Jackson in the 8th.
Well, we got Essery and Stitz working on second place. Stitz was able to make the move on the outside of Chris Essery to retake that second position. So that's going to drop Essery down to third, and that's going to have Nate Lynch all over the back bumper trying to take away that 3rd spot from Chris Essery.
We've got a heck of a battle while they're going up front. They're starting to get simplified out, and this back from about 10th to 15th. They are all right there side by side for the past couple of laps.
From Trey Jackson and Ryan Lynch all the way back, it is side by side. You got Chris Essery and looks like Cole Shetty going at it. I'm sorry, Curtis Ecker and Cole Shetty going at it.
Yeah, and you really got to think how these non-playoff contending trucks are going to factor into this race tonight with the playoff ones actually back there amongst them.
Philip Chavez has moved up to the 9th position. So far, a good run for him as he has the 42 all over the back bumper. He's going to, looks like Cole Shetty is going to try to move right back up towards the front.
Yeah, Cole's not holding back on this. I mean, he knows he's in there, but he's got to perform good to stay in there.
Trey Jackson, Ryan Lynch trying to get it all sorted out for that 7th position. That USAA truck wants that position, and the 31 Pennzoil has it. And it looks like the 2 is going to look to the inside as they come into turn number 1, come out of turn number 2. 2 is still there. They're side by side. The 31 gets a heck of a run off of turn 2, and it's going to be the 31's position still able to maintain that 7th position.
Yeah, they're showing up a pretty good battle back there. I mean, they both won it. They're both sitting in the spot trying to get into the playoffs. And I say getting into it because Trey is right there on that cut line. So, I mean, he's only 9 points ahead of Ryan Lynch. So, right there, you want to separate yourself from them as much as you can.
Yeah, riding back here with Andrew Medlin in that 12 Special Olympics truck. We are not used to seeing him run this far back, and he is all the way back here in 14th position. Has the 9 all in his rearview mirror. He's got a lot of damage to that truck. He's saving that fast repair for possibly later, but right now doesn't look too promising for him.
Yeah, you're seeing right now, Cameron, he's gapped it out to almost a second off Chris Stitz.
Yeah, he has definitely created some distance, but Chris Essery is also trying to reduce that distance between him and Chris Stitz. So now I'm not sure if the best line here as far as tire wear goes. I know these tires are going to wear out fast, especially running that dog leg. They can wear out even faster.
Tell you what, the battle I'm going to be focusing a lot on, as long as they're close to each other, that's going to be Travis Stark and Trey Jackson. I mean, they're 6th and 7th. If it was to finish how it did right now, I believe Travis might have it, but they're both just hanging on to that 12th or 8th spot. I mean, I hate to be the one to do the calculations.
Yeah, man, we still got that. Everybody is pretty much spread out. You know, you got a few back here, and that looks like the 7 of Bill Dart and Philip Chavez. They are pretty close together. They are trying to battle it out for the 11th position. Philip Chavez has it. Bill Dart wants it. And you also have the 9 trying to take a spot away from Andrew Medlin. Almost a little bit of contact as they come out of into turn 3. 9's going to look to the inside of Medlin, and he is going to be there. Medlin is going to have to ride a little bit higher than what he wants to. 9 is there going into turn number 1. 12 is able to prevail on that outside.
You know, that right there does prove the point of where you said earlier, the dog leg's not always the quickest way around, but you saw how deep Patrick sent it in, and it didn't benefit them one bit by the time they started going into 2 and 3.
Absolutely. Some of the time, it is better to stay on the outside, on the outside of the yellow line, and you can get a heck of momentum coming into turn number 1. But we did see a position change, and Bill Dart has moved up to the 11th spot, took it over from Philip Chavez. Curtis Ecker looking to capitalize also. Philip Chavez not on the fastest pace, so that's going to allow Curtis Ecker to make up a little bit of ground. We got the 9 working on Curtis Ecker, trying to work on Curtis Ecker. He's battling still with Andrew Medlin. He took that dog leg and lost a little bit of ground.
Yeah, Andrew's got him a whole rearview mirror full of that Napa 9. So, I mean, Patrick's not going easy.
No, and you see him dive down. He gets up to the 19, and then he stalls right out. 19 is able to drive right back by him.
Yeah, 12's holding them off right there, going into the 1. They're side by side as it's coming out. Right there's a bad spot to be, especially the way that track does not have any slope. It's just a straight slide if you're going in too fast.
Well, the 9 was able to make the pass. He was on the inside as they come into turn 3 and 4. And now the 9's going to look at the 19 and try to take a position away from him. And that's going to be for the 13th spot. Not able to get there from the dog leg. Curtis Ecker going to ride a little bit higher. See if he can get the momentum off of turn number 4. And he is able to create a little bit of distance. And then 9 got a little bit wide, almost touched the wall. But he was able to regain control. And he made up some ground.
Tell you another one now we're one watching. It's going to be Denman Glass and Cole Shetty. They both was involved in that first wreck. They are back side by side, racing for going after that 9th and 10th position right there.
Douglas Hoop out there saying, great graphics, guys. Well, we definitely appreciate that. Well, looks like Mr. Cameron Sarton it's his show. 29 laps out of 150. Still 122 laps to go in the race, and he has broken out to a 1.3 second lead. So Stitz has got to find, and Esri, because they just changed positions, they have got to find some speed out of these trucks to track down that 24.
Yeah, I don't. Esri's slowly gaining, but he's not gaining too much. I mean, we've got another 20 laps before we hit the stage. So at lap 50 is where it's all the stage points are going to come down to, and it's going to give everybody a good idea of how their truck's going to run.
So looking at the times, it looks like Cameron Sarton has a better entry into the corners because Chris Esri loses time, but the exit of the corners and the middle of the corners, it looks like that's where Esri's truck is the strongest. He can make up a little bit of time, and then he loses a little bit of time.
Yeah, Chris Esri just put down the fastest lap on that last lap at a 28.26, which is about 10 thousandths faster than Sarton.
But is that going to be enough to catch him within 20 laps? He is driving that truck hard. Is the tires gonna stay up and keep that grip? We shall see, as he lost a little bit more time to Cameron Sarton.
Yeah, he's got him up to a second and a half away from us. And Stitz is starting to close in on Esri.
Yeah, they got about a half a second in between them. But we got a great little battle back here, and that's going to be between Cole Shetty, Ryan Lynch, and Dylan Glass. They are running nose to tail, but the 16 is going to look to the inside of that USAA number 2 Chevrolet, and looks like he might have the position. We'll see how they come off of turn number 4. The 2 staying up as long as he can, dives down to the dog leg, giving the 16 plenty of room, but he's still going to have that position on that outside. Coming out of turn number 2, it's going to be side by side. The 16 had a fender, but he dives back behind the number 2. And Cole Shetty is loving seeing this because he is going to be able to create a little bit of distance between him and them.
Yeah, it's coming down to about 15 to go, so these trucks are starting to settle in on how they're going to ride the rest of this race. So if they're going to change something, they'll probably change it at the stage point.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to utilize and save those tires and be as fast as Cameron Sarton. He has definitely put in the time at this track because he has actually extended that lead to 1.4 seconds. And looks like Esri has also put the time in because he's extended his to about 0.8 of a second.
Sarton's locked in, so this right here is just going to be pretty much for a bonus in the playoff points.
Yeah, being locked in is definitely what you want to be. So yeah, the bonus points would definitely get you where higher up there in points. But I don't know. To me, it seems like if you're locked in, you got a target on you, especially if you're leading.
It just dawned on me too, Andrew. I think he may have his TV going in his truck also, as I believe he's supposed to be watching the hockey game too. So he may not be 100% focused in on this race.
Oh, he's got the hockey game playing on one set, racing on the other. It's definitely hard to listen to something and race. But just looking back through the field here, it looks like Curtis Ecker has found some issues because he has dropped down to the 15th position. Sam Siegel way off pace. He is running 16th. Looks like Cole Shetty is giving Trey Jackson a little bit of a run for his money. That 42 has found the speed, and he is moving back up through the field as he is working on the back bumper of the 31. As they come out of turn number 4, they're gonna dive it down to the dog leg. 42 has the speed. He's going to tuck behind the 31. He's probably going to utilize the high line here, get the run off the corner, and we might see a little bit of a crossover as they come out of the corner. He has the speed. He's going to dive it down low. I don't know. Nope. He keeps it right behind him.
Yeah, and you know Trey Jackson, you know, he's right there in the 7th spot. He should get the stage points. But, you know, he would much rather have the 7th place stage points than he would the 8th.
Yeah, with only 9 laps to go, every point counts, and that's what they're looking at. So he's giving that 31 truck all it can take and doing a darn good job of keeping that 42 at bay.
And you got Travis Dart. He's working on Nate Lynch right now. Them two are pretty close in the playoff on the cutoff line, so you may have us a battle brewing right there.
Douglas Hoop out there saying, you know how Chris does it, saves and bides his time until it counts. Well, right now it kind of counts, and he is losing ground. He's now 2 seconds behind Cameron Sarton. Chris Stitz is about a second and a half behind Essery. So they need to pick up the pace just a little bit. I mean, second place points for the stage is not bad, but I think that those number 1 points would be better.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to win points on the stage other than being runner-up.
Well, I'll tell you, somebody that might need to pick up the pace a little bit, and that's going to be Chris Stitz, because that 4 truck, Brian Burchett, he is tracking him down little by little, and he is now under a second from Chris Stitz. So with only 7 laps to go in the stage, will Burchett be able to track the 22 down?
That's a pretty far stretch with about 6 to go.
He's ticking it off, though.
It is doable.
Last time around, Chris Stitz was about a 1/10 of a second faster than the 22, so he might be there right when it counts.
Yeah, he's taking off 10th or thousandths of a second per lap. Going that much faster. Maybe a little bit more than 4 laps unless he just gets an excellent run and Stitz fumbles in one of these turns.
Let's see here. Now he is about, he is closing that gap. He's about 0.6 seconds away from Stitz. Dives it in there pretty hard, riding a little bit higher than off of that yellow line. Gonna dive down to the dog leg. Not gonna be able to make up much ground this time. Still about 0.8 seconds, so he lost a little bit of time to Chris Stitz. So. But looks like Lynch and Dart, they are kind of going at it a little bit. You still have Shetty, Jackson, and Dylan Glass, and Ryan Lynch all right there under a blanket. Any one of these can get the real estate that the other has.
You know, I'm watching right now the points where if it finished where it was at, Trey Jackson would not make it into the playoffs.
Well, luckily it is only a stage, so therefore they still have a lot of racing left to go with only a lap left in the stage. It's still anybody's race. About 100 laps will determine where everybody's going to be when those points are added up. So I would worry about it, but I wouldn't have that on my mind just yet.
No, I mean they kind of had a lesson when they saw Brandon go down. I mean, he's still a couple laps down. But, you know, he had a good 36-point cushion above the cutoff line. So, I think wherever he finishes, I think your top 4, maybe your top 5 are pretty much going to be locked in going into round of 8. Man, from 6 to 12, there's only 20 points separate.
And you got this 31 and this 16. I mean, they are going at it hard like it is the last lap of the race. They were side by side, and the 31 was able to prevail, and we should see that stage caution come out at some point. There it is. So the 31.
Boogie asked for a playoff update. I tell you what, we're gonna snag a quick commercial from Butt Kicker, who's sponsoring this, and when we come back, we'll do a little quick breakdown of how the points may be looking right now.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I didn't hear. What did you say? Sorry. All right. Well, pit road was definitely busy at the end of that stage, and it looks like Sarton is going to take. He is going to take the point once again with. Oh. Cameron Sarton slow. Don't know if Cameron Sarton is having a little bit of problems or not, but he is dropping back under caution. So we'll have to see what's going on here. And as of right now, he may get that position back.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a long pit or a long pit stop, or had to get some damage fixed, or what. But he came out in 12th.
No, he came out in first. He dropped back. So I don't know if he was having a problem. But or black flag, or I don't know.
I'll tell you who's glad for that. That's gonna be Chris Escher.
Very interesting where he is at. So Chris Asteriga is gonna take over the lead position. Chris Stitz sitting in second. Brian Burchett sitting in third. Nate Lynch in fourth. Cole Shetty right back where he started this race in fifth. Travis Dart up 5 position from where he started. Trey Jackson 7th. Bill Dart 8th. Andrew Medlin moving up a little bit. Got that truck fixed in 9th. And Philip Chavez up 4 positions in 10th. Patrick Hasty in 11th. Curtis Ecker in 12th, up 5 position from where he started. Cameron Sarton, interesting where he's at in 13th. Ryan Lynch, Sam Siegel, Brandon Pierce, and Dylan Glass is showing out. So the pace car is off. We will be going green this time, and guess who is controlling this restart? It's going to be Chris Essery with Chris Titz on his outside. So Chris and Chris on the front row.
Gonna see if he's gonna bring up Bakersfield driving to Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, we will definitely have to see. And he is going to be coming to the Geico restart zone. And green flag is out, and he gets a really good jump with Brian Burchett on the move right behind him.
Yeah, Burchett's right there on the end of the cutoff, so he's doing anything he can. If he can lock this in, that would be a major. And that's another what you can think about. We got four that could pull the win and just completely shift everything up.
Absolutely. Oh, it looks like the 7 of Bill Dart was in the wall, and that's going to stack everybody up. The 101 of Philip Chavez had to go really wide, and they were 3 wide for just a second. They did get it all sorted out. So good awareness by these guys. But the 4 is all over the 1. And we're probably about to see a battle for the lead as the 22 Holman's got into the back of the 4. Different breaking points can be a disaster. Coming out of turn 2, they are still battling. These top 3 are battling for the same real estate, and the 4 and the 22. 22 wants the second position back. That's where he started the stage, and that's where he wants to be. But the 4 is saying, no way, Jose, I'm staying right here, and I think them two will be battling for the lead within the next lap or so.
And you got Chris Stitz who's worked into the picture too. But, I mean, Chavez, Pressery, he's going to have his hands full here in a minute, especially if Burchett can get a good run on him.
Oh, caution is out. And it looks like Curtis Ecker has crashed. Curtis Ecker back here with the 2 of Ryan Lynch. Let's go back and see what happened to him. They are coming out of turn number 2. And it looks like that 19 truck just got loose. And the funny thing about these trucks is they get loose and then they automatically turn right. Don't know if that's what happened or if he had a little bit of help. Yeah, Ryan Lynch helped him around just a little bit. Ryan Lynch had nowhere to go.
All right, so it's me that needs to turn up a little bit. I'm playing sound guy out there with Douglas. They said it was you, and I'm going to turn you back down because you're extremely loud in my ear. Normally it's the other way around. It's not Richard. It's not.
Sound guy's fired.
But normally I sound louder than Richard, and it drowns him out and the car out, so I'm trying to balance it out. I think we got it set.
Old age getting to you.
It's those ears, man. We blame it on you, Boogie. It's all your fault.
My fault.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Richard. You know, looking at the playoffs, Burchett, him being 15 out and 12, if he could get a top 3 on this, I think he could go from 12th up to 8th. Especially with Ryan Lynch having that issue, he may have to pit and get some damage fixed.
Yeah, he's in the pits. His truck doesn't look that bad. I think he might take a fuel and go.
And you know, Richard, we've seen
That's
this
exactly what he did.
This is the most cautions we have seen this whole season in a race. This
Like I
early
said,
on.
Like I said, fun but tricky track. It's going to get loose. It's going to get tight. You never know what you're going to see here. It's very unpredictable. I heard that ice. Yay! Actually, that was M&M's Minis.
What, you didn't get the share size?
Oh, I got the mini tubes.
Man,
Man,
no excuses.
the line at the snack bar was long. I had to grab what I couldn't go. Whatever I can put in my pockets.
Did you even pay for it?
No.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to know. The less I know, the better off I am. Douglas said he paid for it, so we're good.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Douglas. All right, side by side once again. We are getting ready to go green. Pace car lights are out. The 1, the 4, the 22, the 42, the 25, and the 31. All looking, actually, everybody's looking hungry for a win, but these guys, they're about to get it on.
I tell you what, we're
Let-
fixing to see a battle and a half right there between Trey Jackson and Travis Dart. That is where I believe the action's going to be tonight.
And the 1 is coming to that Geico restart zone, and there he goes. He is green flag. Green flag is out. He didn't get the best restart that he wanted, but the 22 got a pretty good restart right behind him. So that's going to allow the 22 and the 4 to battle it out. Now, even though these guys were battling out at the start of the last caution, they broke out to 1.5 seconds ahead of everybody else. So Nate Lynch has taken over that 4th spot over Cole Shetty, and that truck is looking to be a fast truck. He is looking to be a force to be reckoned with. Coming to the end of this race, I expect to see him up towards front.
Look who's sneaking up into that picture again. You got Cameron Stark, who's all the way up to the 9th position.
Yeah, I see him back there. He's just a lurking, but he's also got Andrew Medlin, Trey Jackson, and Travis Dart all right there in front of him. So he's got some work ahead of him. As he looks to the inside, coming through that dog leg. I thought he was going to try to get the momentum to take it 3 wide, but he wasn't able to get there. And he is riding the bottom line.
We saw a little bit of contact between Andrew and Trey Jackson right there. Andrew had to get off of it. I was afraid he was fixing to spin him.
Well, Trey Jackson not putting up the fight that I thought he was going to put up, and that 24 just sailed right on by, and so does the 12. Maybe, almost a little contact between Sarton and the 31. 31 had to let out, and that got his truck a little bit tight. He went towards the wall, but he was able to keep it out of the wall.
It seems
Now,
like,
the 20. Go ahead.
It seems like Trey's changed something on his truck. It seems like he's fighting it more than he was on that first stage.
Yeah, it does kind of seem that way. Could be the track changing, could be the line that he is running, because he is, even though he is stuck on the outside. Trey Jackson has his hands full. Him and the 12 have been, pretty much side by side for the last 2 laps now. Now he's able to get out front of Andrew Medlin, but that has allowed Cameron Sarton to break away from them. And now Cameron Sarton has Travis Dart in his sights.
I'm going to tell you right now who's enjoying seeing Trey Jackson fall back and fight for position. That's going to be Travis Dart. Because he knows the more distance he can put between them, the more of a chance he's got of sneaking into that 8th spot.
Now, if you're Cameron Sarton, you're back in 7th position. You got a lot of work to do. You have, where did Chris Stitz go? Oh, he disappeared. Oh, okay, he's back. That's one of the scariest things on the track. So you have 6 other cars in front of you. They're not going to just let you by. You know that they're just as fast as you are. So are you going to use up your tires trying to get around these guys and get back up to that front?
Being Cameron, he's got to win. He's locked in the roundabout. I just ride it out. I mean, you want those playoff points, but it's not a necessity for you to make it to the next round. So I just ride it out, see how it plays out.
I don't think riding it out is in his vocabulary. Not right now, it isn't.
Definitely not. It's not been all season.
Well, we got a really good battle between the 42, the 25, the 6, and the 24. And looks like Chris Stitz is still hanging in there with Chris Essery with Brian Burchett right there also.
Yeah, Burchett's doing all he can. I mean, this will, if he finished like this in third, he might work his way in, depending on where Trey and Travis finish, and Nate. Which right now Nate's running in the fifth, so he's feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty comfortable, but you want more than just comfortable. You want, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Ooh, well, it almost looks like Cameron Sarton touched the wall just a little bit coming out of turn number 2, because he did lose a little bit of ground from the 6. Doesn't look like he has any right side damage, but I know he had to check up just a little bit, and he lost a little bit of momentum. Chris Essery gave himself about 0.3 of a second breathing room. Chris Stitz still right there, still anybody's position. And Chris Stitz has created a little bit of distance between him and the 4 of Burchett.
Yeah, everybody's starting to really settle in. We're hitting the halfway mark. So they know what their trucks will do for 50 laps. They're halfway through that first stint. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to play the fuel game or the tire game, or who's been saving and who hadn't.
Well, at this point, if you're looking at Chris Stitz, he is actually dropping back. And little by little, Chris Essery is putting some time in between him and Chris Stitz. So is Chris Stitz saving a little? Maybe. But it looks like that one truck is very, very strong out front as he extends the lead to about a half a second now.
Well, if you're Stitch, you don't want to relax too much, because you've got Burchett right there that's just gnawing at the bit. He's got a top 3 right now. He wants a top 2. He wants a win. He wants to, and that would be wild. 12th position in the playoff, gets the win. That's going to shift everything up. That's going to kick either Nate Lynch or Trey Jackson, or even Chris Stitz, completely out of the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, looks like Cameron Sarton is having a little bit of trouble catching back up to the 6 of Travis Dart. And Andrew Medlin, he is looking a little bit better. He is back up towards the 8th position. So it looks like everybody is pretty much spaced out. But I do want to call your attention to one truck, and that's number 38. That number 38 is only 1 lap down. If another caution comes out and he's not involved, guess who gets that lucky dog?
Yeah, he's praying for a caution.
He's either praying for a caution or he's going to cause one. No, I'm just playing. I know he wouldn't do that.
Well, the sad thing is, iRacing's got it fixed where if you cause it, you don't get it.
Yep.
So even if he did cause it, it wouldn't benefit him. But who's to say you don't make somebody around you nervous and make them check up? That's notorious at road courses. I know because I done it today. We've got the field, Richard. It's kind of just spread out and everybody's kind of settled down. Sitting there riding with the 7 of Bill Dart, who's in the 10th position. And the way it's looking right now, if he where he finishes at right now, he would not make it into the round of 8. I believe we're fixing to see some green flag pit stops as we've got Philip Chavez coming on in. Ryan Lynch is coming in also.
Very interesting strategy. You have, depending on how many laps you can go on a tank of fuel, you're still going to have, 67 laps. You are going to be able to make up some time. But by the time the leaders come in, your tires are spent. And if the caution does come out, this is such a long pit road, you are trapped 2 laps down.
Ryan
And
Lynch is
look
out
at
of the pits.
And it looks like that one truck has created a little bit. Oh, there's the caution. Nate Lynch. Oh, that's not that. This is going to change up everything. Nate Lynch.
Wow, Richard, that just shook up that top 8 right there.
So Nate Lynch, not exactly sure what happened, but we're going to take a look. Looks like he's coming into turn number 2, and his truck just goes way out of shape. Smacks the wall. So his truck got really tight, comes down, and almost collects, what was that, the 42? Cameron Sarton makes an evasive maneuver. Yeah, he goes towards that inside wall really hard.
Looks like something may have broke or something because he took a straight.
It looked like a tire. It looked like a tire blew. I mean, that's what it
and
reminded me of.
He caught just the back end of Travis Dart barely. But yeah, that looks like something may have went out on that because he takes it just straight there for a minute.
All right, race off of pit road. Oh, Chris Pitts makes it out before Chris Essery. Philip Chavez ended up staying out and leading a lap. Maybe 2.
But yeah, this is going to definitely shake it up, Richard. Got about 64 to go. 74 to go.
About 74, 4 laps to go. We're going to see Ryan Lynch probably get his lap back. Philip Chavez on point. Interesting strategy.
And Brandon Pierce may benefit off of that. That is the caution we was talking about. He is in the pits. And he might be right back up there holding on to his 3rd place. Chavez staying out, that cost Chris Stitz getting him any bonus points on leading those laps.
So we have Philip Chavez out front with the 22 of Chris Stitz on the outside. Chris Essery starting right behind Philip Chavez in 3rd position. Brian Burchett starting on the outside. Now, I'm interested to see how good of a restart Philip can get.
Yeah, it's gonna be real interesting, especially his tires are what 43 laps older than anybody around him. So if he spins him, Essery may not want to be where he's at.
Well, Chavez gonna take the green flag here in just a moment as he reaches the Geico restart zone. Brandon Sox out there has subscribed. We appreciate that, Brandon. And a green flag is out, and Philip Chavez got a really good, caught Chris Stitz sleeping. So that's going to allow the one of Chris Essery to get around the 22 real quick. And don't look now, but here comes that 24. They are 3 wide right behind these 2 leaders. You have the 22, you have the 6, and you have the 24. They are coming into turn number 1, and it looks like Sarton is going to be fighting for the 3rd position, trying to get around that 22 of Chris Stitz. Chris Stitz not giving it up just yet, and the 1 and the 101 are going to go at it, and it looks like Chris Essery is going to try to retake the lead as Chavez and him split. Coming through the dog leg, it's going to be Chris Essery back to the lead with Chris Stitz in tow. 24 of Cameron Sarton looking to take over that 3rd position from Philip Chavez. Philip Chavez did lead a lap or so, but now he is giving it up, and he's going to go really wide, and that's going to allow the 42 and the 6 to maybe take over that position from him.
Man, Sarton just cut through everybody right through there, getting up to that P3, and you know what? He ain't going to settle for just no 3rd place. He's fixing to try to go for that win.
Well, the 22 and 1 are not done with it yet. They are battling really hot and heavy for that top spot. And the 22 is going to have it as they come in turn 3. 22 has the preferred line. That's the low line. And here comes the 24. They are going to be both on the dog leg. Who is going to prevail? Look at the run that the 1 had, and the 22 slid right up in front of him. He had to check up, or there would have been a catastrophe going into turn number 3.
Yeah, that almost was bad, and that would be a bad spot if some wreck happened right now in the top 5, because that's going to really shake up his playoffs.
We know the 24 is good when he gets out front. We know the 1 is good when he gets out front. What can the 22 do when he gets out front? We shall see, because now he is the leader. You go, boy, go.
Yeah, and Stitz, he's running like Forrest, man. He's trying to get away from Sarton.
Well, Essery better not let his guard down, because knick-knack, paddywhack, give this dog a bone. Here comes the Red Dog Machine, 42 of Cole Shetty.
Yeah, and Cole's recovered really good from having that first round incident, or that first couple laps incident when he was caught into it.
He is all over the back bumper of that number 1. Definitely paying attention to the braking points, getting into the corner, riding a little bit lower than the 1, getting a run off the corner. Can he make up any ground? They both take it down to the dog leg, and it's still going to be pretty much in line.
I've been watching Essery the past few laps, and coming out of turn 1, that back end, he gets a little bit loose. Not much, but he's having to fight that car. He's having to fight that truck.
Well, those tires are still cold. They have not reached their temperatures yet, so it's still going to be a little bit slick. But I think after about 10 laps, you're going to see that truck really get dialed in. As you see, the 22 has already broke out to almost a half a second lead over the 24.
Got Burchett. He's fighting with Trey Jackson.
Still a little bit of distance between them, but yes, there is a fight back there. And look at Patrick Hasty. He is up to 9th, and he is battling with Brandon Pierce, which is back on the lead lap.
That shows determination right there from Pierce. I mean, he was 2 laps down, caught up in the first caution we had, and now he's back in there battling for a 10th position.
Well, I don't think that's the only position that he is going to be battling for, because he's looking to make some moves on that number 9 as he is looking down low. He's going to try the inside. Is he going to be able to get there? Nope, the 9 has the momentum. riding that higher line.
You've got Shetty who's putting that pressure on Essery right now.
Oh yeah, and I believe by the time they come out, and look at Travis Dart, he's right there too. And then number 6 truck, he's putting the pressure on the 42. 42 is putting the pressure on the 1, and it's just a matter of time before one of these positions changes.
Yeah, you've got Dart right now who's sitting in the 5th position. That should be enough to knock Trey Jackson out, him take his spot. But I'm going to tell you what's really going to throw it in there with, you've got Nate Lynch and Ryan Lynch both finishing towards the back. That may possibly knock Nate Lynch completely out of it.
It possibly might, but there are still 50 laps to go. Anything can happen with these trucks, as we have seen. Now, Nate Lynch is only 1 lap down. He can get his lap back if a caution were to come out. I'm sorry, Ryan Lynch is 1 lap down. Nate Lynch, 2 laps down. Might be a little bit tougher, but it can be done. We've seen it because Brian Burchett, he was able to do it.
And Nate Lynch is one of those ones, he's only 3 points above cutout. I mean, there's only 13 points between Brian Burchett and Nate Lynch.
Oh, Cole Shetty looking up high, trying to use some momentum on that high line, but the 6 was right there, was not able to capitalize on the inside. So I think Cole Shetty is looking for a line with maybe a little bit more grip, maybe a little bit more speed in it, because now he is putting a lot more pressure on that 1 truck.
Yeah, and you can see that Darton Incorporated is catching up with Stitz. So Stitz may have run his truck pretty hard, as we've got a nice little battle for the top 5 fixing to start proving.
That 1 truck of Chris Essery is starting to come alive. As you've seen, he was all over the back bumper of that 1 truck, and he's still having a little bit of trouble coming through that dog leg, because that 42 is now all over the bumper, and it's just a matter of time. How long do you stay behind somebody before you move them? Oh, the 42 is looking to the inside of the 1. The 1 was a little bit sideways as he come out of turn number 2. And now the 1's on the inside of the 42 is on the inside of the 1. And as they come out of turn number 2, it's still going to be the 1. He's going to drop down to the dog leg, keep the 42 in check. But look at the 24. He is going to be trying to get right back up there, battling for the lead. These guys are very good at what they do, and they have broken out, even though they're pretty much riding in the line. They have put Andrew Medlin back at almost a full second.
And Medlin's starting to get pressure from Brian. So, I mean, these playoff points, it's hard to tell from this round of 8, from about 6th back all the way to 12th. You've got no telling what's going to happen with these points.
Ooh, Chris Essery trying to make a move on the 24. He was looking to the inside, was not able to do it. But now he's right back on the back bumper. Cameron Sarton has a really good entry on the 22, but the 22 has a really good exit. Look at the distance he creates, and then the 24 tries to close it right back down by dropping lower on the dog leg, but he loses so much momentum, and that 1 truck is right there to try to capitalize.
Miss Frida asked the question out there, why do they get to cut the corner? Richard, why don't you give the elaborate detail on that?
Well, that corner is not actually out of bounds. It is a yellow line, but it is not out of bounds. And to be honest with you, I don't know other than that.
I think it may have something to do with the reconfiguration. When they redone it, they extended that part of the turn, and I guess the drivers was used to that, and they just kind of left it like that.
Yeah, at one point it was grass. I believe.
You had Essery just got loose coming out of forward. That's going to be cold get around them.
Maybe, maybe not. He's riding that high line. Cole gonna chuck right back in. So you got 40 laps to go. How far will you take the tires? Will you take them all the way to the end, or will you short pit it and take a chance of somebody spinning out? I think I'm gonna try to ride it out as long as I can until I see these leaders pit.
Yeah, and then run some more. I mean, you're going to try to maximize what you can, especially if you're outside that cutoff point. You want everything you can get and stay out as long as you can get.
Well, apparently clean air is the way to have your truck because we saw Chris Essery, kind of gap everybody. We saw Cameron Sarton gap everybody, and now we're seeing Chris Stitz start to gap everybody. He has now broken out to a 0.7-second lead over Cameron Sarton.
Yeah, Stitz is breathing a little bit sigh of relief right now. I mean, he had Cameron right there on him. He was able to hold him off. One of the few times we've seen Cameron being held off on a position. So Chris may be coming into the round of 8 as Cameron's kryptonite.
Well, talking about kryptonite, it looks like Andrew Medlin has got some kryptonite all over him, and that's going to be Brian Burchett. Brian Burchett trying to work his way up into that 6th position, but Andrew Medlin is not letting it go very easy. But it looks like the Ford truck is handling a little bit better than that Toyota of Andrew Medlin.
And you got to remember, Medlin had some damage at the beginning of the race. And he may have got it fixed, but that truck may just not be driving the way he wants.
If I remember correctly, I've heard him say that this might not be his best track.
Plus, hockey zone.
What's up?
Plus, he's watching the hockey game.
I'd say the way he's driving right now, I don't know. That hockey game might not be as interesting as he liked it. Could be wrong. Because now he's working to put a little bit of distance between him and the 4.
Oh, you got a battle brewing now between Essery and Sarton.
I don't know if Cameron is trying to drive the wheels off of that truck and the handling is just not there anymore, or Chris Essery is taking it a little bit easier, getting off the corners a little bit better, not getting as loose as he was. Because you're right. There's a battle brewing. And Cole Shetty right there in the mix also.
Looks like the field's pretty much spread out. Other than that little battle we've got going up here for the top 5.
Yeah, I was just riding through the field, and looks like Chavez really needs to pick up the pace due to the fact that if you're doing one second. Chavez is doing 28-second laps, which is actually not too bad. But the leaders are not far behind. So you could be in jeopardy of going a lap down.
Essery's looking to dive it down to the dog leg to get inside of Sarton right now as they're coming out.
Oh, he made it to the inside. Sarton had to take it really wide. And he's going to lose 2 positions.
Essery brought Cole Chet with him.
Cole Shetty is not done making his moves yet. He sees that one truck. He knows he's in second. He wants that second place position. And they're going to have to pretty much try to track down this 22, but the 22 has put almost 1.5 seconds in between them. So that's going to be very tough. To catch that 22.
And well, we appreciate the follow there. I'm not going to say it. I can't say it. I'm going to try to say it. Right, I don't know, Richard. You want to go at it?
Radicus? Is that it? I know it's got a 7 and a 5 in there, but I think that's what I saw pop up.
Oh, apparently you said it right, because we got a yep out there.
Awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate that follow there. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a pretty exciting race so far, as we only have about 27 laps to go. And it looks like the 22, if it goes green, this might be his race, as he has put 1.8 seconds in between him and Chris Essery. And Chris Essery has made a little bit of breathing room between him and that 42 of Cole Shetty.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they're sending it pretty deep right there coming in, because right past the start finish, because I'm constantly, and I know you are too, getting that notification. We're saying they're entering and leaving pit lane.
Yeah, I was noticing that too.
So they're sending it in pretty deep. And I've actually had to double check to see if they was actually pit. Because that last pit stop on 85, they may be getting pretty close. They're going to have to make one more green flag pit stop. I do not see, Richard, them going, 70 laps? Tank of fuel here.
I don't see it, but I wouldn't put it past somebody to probably try.
And you know what? Sarton may be saving, because he is dropping back.
That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried.
And we know if anybody who can save half a tank, it's that guy right there.
Radicus saying, hold the line. Well, I'll tell you somebody that has really got their hands full, and that's going to be Andrew Medlin. Andrew Medlin has had that Ford truck of Brian Burchett behind him for the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 laps, and he's been trying to get around that number 12, but he has not been able to do it. And it looks like we got a little three-way battle between the 24 and the 6 and the 4. So they are going at it pretty hot and heavy as they come out of turn number 4. They're going to be side by side, 6 and the 4, side by side, battling for that fifth position. And it looks like Brian Burchett is going to have that inside line, and he's going to have the position for now. Let's see if Travis Dart can battle back on that outside as they come out of turn number 2. It's going to be side by side again. Will the 4 have the momentum to do it? I don't believe he will. Travis Dart prevails with that fifth position.
You see Travis Dart. He's sitting right there in that 5th position. He's +1 below Trey Jackson. You've got Trey Jackson, who is right there behind Brian Burchett. There's one truck that's in between Travis and Trey.
Yeah, the 12 went up the track just a little bit, and that allowed the 31 to get right on by. Now he's able to open that truck up just a little bit and try to track down that 4 of Brian Burchett. I think he has the truck. I think he has the tires. He hasn't been really making any aggressive moves, so we might be able to see him move towards the front just a little bit closer, just in case a caution comes out.
Got Philip Chavez in the. Looks like he had a little issue. His truck is not wanting to move.
Oh no.
He took the tow. That is going to keep the caution from coming out. And I'm telling you, Chris Stitz, when he drove by and saw that truck, he was probably worried to death.
Well, Cole Shetty worked his way up to the 3rd position. He has a lap car. Of Curtis Ecker. Curtis Ecker not having the best of nights, running in 13th. Not giving up the spot as easy as Cole Shetty wants to, as Curtis Ecker is still battling on the outside as he come out of turn number 2. Not giving the line up to the 42. He's going to sit there and battle side by side, but Cole Shetty is going to have the inside line, and he's going to be able to make the pass as he comes out of turn number 4. Now, these guys have been battling it out left and right, and that has created a lot of distance between the 22 and 1, the 1 and 42. So there is 2 seconds in between the 1 and the 22 and the 1, and 2 seconds in between the 1 and the 42.
What I'm going to watch right now is we're going to bring up these lap times here between Travis Start and Trey Jackson. And Ecker goes high getting out of the way. Almost loses it into the wall.
Philip Chavez coming out of the pits. I thought that was going to be a disaster right there.
You know, Chris Stitz, he's broke it out to 2 seconds away from Essery. So, you know, we can say it's his race to lose, but if a caution comes out, Richard, it may be somebody else cost him that win.
Yes, it definitely could be. This is what he doesn't want to see with 16 laps to go. He does not want to see that caution as Bill Dart just entered in the pit. No, he did not. I thought he entered in the pits, but House entering in. Kudos to the awesome announcers. Not an easy job. We definitely appreciate that, Radicus.
He's saying that because we got his name right on the first shot.
That's probably it too. I mean, we put your names all the time, though. We have to have a special speech therapist to help us with pronunciations.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, these last 3 laps, Jackson's been running a faster time than Dart.
And Shetty has been running a faster time than Essery and Stitz. But I don't think he has enough laps to get back up to where he was, as that he's a little under 2 seconds, as it looks like he had a little bit of trouble coming off the exit of turn number 2. But 13 laps to go.
Richard,
they're going to try to push it.
Right, here's the battle I was telling you about. Travis Dart, Trey Jackson. 1 point separates them from the playoff in the round of 8, and they are right by each other in that 5th and 6th position. Neither one of them's got any stage bonus points. Neither one of them's got any lead lap bonus points. So their points is going to be based off strictly how they finish.
Yeah, and look at Trey Jackson. He was about to look on the inside. They go through the dog leg. Trey Jackson going to look on the inside again. Is he going to be able to get there before he goes into turn number 1? And no, he's not. He's going to cut it down a little bit lower than Travis Dart. and then come out right behind him, maybe utilizing a little bit of draft, maybe a little bit of the momentum coming off the corner. But I want you to look at that number 12 too. The number 12 can ruin it all for these two. They have Cameron Sarton right there in front of them. The 24, we saw him leading quite a bit earlier, and now he is riding in the 4th position, not where he wants to be, because he is way back there behind, about 6 seconds behind the leaders. But they are slowly but surely, no matter if they're battling or not, slowly but surely tracking down Cole Shetty in that number 42.
I'm going to tell you right now, Richard, Trey Jackson is throwing everything but the anchors at Travis Dart, trying to get around him.
Well, he just threw the kitchen sink, and I think he may be able to do it. I think the kitchen sink is going to do it. Here he goes on the inside. Coming out of turn number 2, is he going to be able to make the pass? Right now he has the position. He's going to have that inside. So I believe by turn number 3, he's going to be able to make the pass, and he does. He's going to slide up in front of Travis Dart. But what's Travis Dart going to do? He's going to try to cross over on the dog leg. What a battle by these two. But I think Trey Jackson is going to have that momentum.
This is just not for a top 5 finish, Richard. This is for a playoff spot.
Well, Trey Jackson was able to get to the 5th position, and it looks like almost that 31 is a little bit better than that 24. If I look at the last lap times, yes, that 31 is just a hair better than the 24. So Trey Jackson could have been just saving what he has, and now he's going to use it right here at the end when it really counts.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've not seen Cameron struggle at a track as much as I have this one tonight.
Chris Stitz, his truck is good in clean air, and he looks like he's about to take Ryan Lynch another lap down. But I think Cameron Sarton's truck was good in clean air, and in that dirty air, he does not have anything for anybody, because they are actually losing ground to Shetty now.
Yeah, and you've got Trey Jackson. He's starting to put that pressure on Cameron pretty heavy, just like he did Dart. And it took him 3 or 4 laps to get him set up, but he was able to finally get around him.
Yeah, Dart is losing a little bit of ground. He does have a little bit of breathing room between him and Dart, but looks like Andrew Medal is going to put a little bit of pressure on Travis Dart.
I'm going to tell you what, Travis Dart may squeeze in with his finish because of the place of where Nate Lynch. So,
Yeah, Nate Lynch is quite a few laps down. 2 laps down?
He is. And Brian Burchett, it's going to be iffy. Man, oh, Lord, I'd hate to have to figure out these points.
Cole Shetty still riding in 3rd. Cameron Sarton in 4th. Still has the 31, trying to trail him down. Not been able to get there. Been sitting about 3/10 of a second back. He has a little bit of a run on through the dog leg, but is he going to be able to get there as they come into turn number 1? Turn number 1, he's looking at a little bit lower than the 24. He made the gap up just a little bit. Can he carry the momentum out of the turn? Not quite. He did make up a little bit of ground. Coming into turn number 3, still about the same distance. Both drivers putting the pedal to the floor. Just not able to make any ground with only 3 laps to go as the leader comes up through turn number 2. I don't think anybody's got anything for him.
Now, we saw a little bit of a battle starting to brew with Pierce Medlin, and Pierce was able to get around Medlin pretty easy. He's setting his eyes on Travis Dart. But Stitz, he was one of those, he was only 4 points above the cutoff line. And this finish, well, this win, pretty much, he's going to be one. He's been after that win all season. When we talked to him last week, he said he's going to eventually get it. And Phoenix just might be the place for him.
2 laps to go, and it looks like the 31 has caught the 24. Actually, this is the last lap, And it's going to be now or never. The 31 has to make his move on this lap, coming down the front stretch, going into turn number 1. Cameron Sarton, Trey Jackson battling it out, nose to tail. Will Trey Jackson use the bumper? He has caught the bumper. He's going to look to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the finish as they come down to turn number 3. 31 has the inside. He has the preferred lane. He's going to put the power down. Can he get to the start-finish line before Cameron gets back to the gas? And it's going to be Trey Jackson for 4th place. Cameron Sarton finishing in 5th. So we have the 22, the 1, the 42, the 31. Oh, and the 4 just smacked the wall. The 24 finishing in 5th. Brandon Pierce, what a comeback.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm fixing to catch him off guard. I'm going to catch him off guard real quick. He has actually got Ken Campbell in there with him. And we're going to go ahead and drag him up here while he's spinning out. He's probably full of emotion right now. Let's catch him off guard. Chris, burn him down. Burn him down. Burn it. Burn it.
Woo! I will.
You were sitting 4 points away from the cutoff, but you just locked yourself in to the round of 8. You've been fighting for a win the whole season, and you got it when it counted.
I can't say anything other than thank you to freaking Ken on the booth for being my crew chief up there. That was so much of a help, and wow. It's a fun race.
It definitely looked like it. You know, you and Chris Essery battled it out for quite a bit, but it seems like the clean air was the way to go. And as soon as you got the clean air, just like the 24 and the 1, as soon as y'all got to the clean air, your trucks were just like a rocket and just took off.
Yeah, it was. I hadn't touched the lead all day until I got to the lead there at the end. But once I felt that clean air, I mean, the car stuck wherever you put it.
Well, it definitely showed. You finished with over 3 seconds ahead of Essery. So what a great finish, man. Congratulations being locked in and moving on.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was heck of a race. I never thought I'd get that first asphalt oval win at Phoenix, but here we are.
And it could not have came at a better time, really. I mean, you're in. You're going to the round of 8. You heading into Vegas, still fighting for a playoff, still fighting for that championship. How you feel at Vegas and Bristol? Because that's your next 2 challenges.
I'm feeling honestly pretty good. I'd like to keep this momentum and just keep carrying it forward. Bristol is one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, so that is definitely a track I'm looking forward to as well.
Well, we can't wait to see you in action at that. Carry this momentum into Vegas. Hopefully, you can roll them dice and get you another win.
Sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, thank you guys so much for broadcasting this for us.
Oh, not a problem. And, you know, if you got any more shout-outs, man, the floor is yours.
I'd like to thank definitely Ken Campbell for being up in my booth. Up in the box, my teammate, and Lake Anna, a sponsor on my truck. Like to thank my family, my parents, and everyone involved in running this series. They're all really professional and really awesome people to be around.
Absolutely. Well, tell Ken Campbell that we miss him out on the track. You know, Alabama Slammer. You know, we want to see him back.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Richard, I think we caught the rear end of his excitement there. But, you know, a major shout out to Ken. Unfortunately, you know, due to foot issues, he was not able to contend for the playoffs. But you know what? Ken's probably just as happy being where he's at right now because his driver's going into the round of 8.
Absolutely. You know, Ken Campbell has a lot of knowledge of these cars, and you know, I can't wait till, you know, he can get back on the track. He was one of my picks to win the races, and he always showed up when it counts, you know, just like these other guys. he was a real good person to watch out there on the track. So hope he gets back soon. Really miss him. And who we got next there, Jeremy?
I'm gonna bring up Mr. Chris Essery as Miss Rita's out there saying congrats and got second, and she's always out there supporting them. Chris, this is Jeremy Richard up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, Chris, you ran a really good race. You had quite a bit of battles, for that lead position. Your truck did really well out front in the clean air, but as soon as that 22 took over, it was like your truck just stalled out and could not make up the ground, but didn't lose any either. Man, talk us through your race just a little bit.
I'm surprised. I didn't practice much, so I didn't expect to be running up front. I was just going into that race. We're just going to save tires, and hopefully we can get a top 5. But I think the first run I got to like lap 15, and I started pulling away from guys. Like, okay, well, maybe we have a shot at this. I led a couple laps, and then I was like, oh yeah, we have a winning truck. But that clean air was that was a difference maker.
Well, we definitely noticed it. We saw the 24, you and the 22 break away as soon as you got to clean air, but you still ran a really good race. You gave the 42 a run for his money, then he kind of just like fell off, and your truck just, like I said, couldn't make up any ground, but you definitely opened up the gap between everybody else behind you, and you finished very strong. So great job on that.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Jeremy, what you got? Got any questions for Mr. Essery? Actually, I do have one. Do you feel lucky at Vegas?
Yeah, that's my absolute favorite track, so I feel really good going into Vegas.
Well, good, because that's our next track, and that one truck we always like to see you up front too. We have a lot of favorite drivers here, but you are one of our favorites, Ken Campbell, and it's very hard to call, say who is the exact favorite, but we see you run consistent every time, and so we always pull for you, and you got family out there pulling for you too. But second place, not a bad finish, and what comes with that, those shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to my family watching home, my son Liam, my teammates at Average Show Racing. We were out there duck dodge dipping and dodging. Thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate you showing up, and I can't wait to see what you can do at Las Vegas next week.
Yep.
Richard, that's going to be number 2 tonight, Mr. Chris Essery, and he is moving on to the roundup 8. I'm getting a little bit of chatter about the round of 8 is set, but before we say who they are, we're going to bring our third place finisher up here, Mr. Cole Shetty, and get his thoughts about tonight, where he finished and how he feels going into Vegas. Cole, you got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing tonight?
Well, we're doing good. We saw a hell of a race. And how you feel about Vegas, because you're locked in going into the round of 8?
Well, I feel pretty confident with Vegas. We did a Friday night shootout race there with all the boys a couple weeks ago, and I actually won that race. So I'm feeling pretty confident. Hopefully, I can't get too high above my head here, but hopefully we can make something happen next week, because next week we'll start the money runs. So.
Well, definitely, we can't wait to see what happens at Vegas. But tonight, you put on a heck of a race, and you brought your truck up, to finish in third. Not an easy track. You started in fifth, but Phoenix is a very tough track, and you definitely have it figured out. Finished third, above a lot of other good drivers. Wasn't able to quite make it up to the top, but man, you put on a heck of a good run.
Yeah, I'm getting used to talking to you guys up here now. It's getting pretty fun. But anyway, so the first lap, I honestly thought my race was ruined. Nate got into the back of me there, getting into 3, and it was an honest mistake, just different braking points. But I had like close to no damage on my truck, so just figured if I took my time and made my way back up there, I'd be all right. But honestly, I was just trying to chill tonight anyway, and not really race too hard, just because I knew I was pretty good on points. I had a 26-point buffer, so um, I was just making sure that I finished ahead of who I had to finish ahead of, so that way I could try to make it to the round of 8 and start turning things up next week.
Absolutely. Well, turn that heat up and definitely make sure y'all tune in Thursday night because he is actually going to be try to put his Ford Thunderbird in victory lane at Daytona. So make sure y'all tune in to Southern Broadcast Racing Network to see Mr. Shetty race his Ford Thunderbird at Daytona in Slingshot Racing League. But great job, man. You know what happens? Those podium finishes, you got them shout outs, my brother.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Just want to shout out you guys first up in the booth. You guys always do a great job when you put on our show. Can't wait for Thursday for that broadcast. That'll be fun. 87 cars are a really good time, so excited to be running that. But want to shout out my girlfriend and my family for always supporting me and being there through the tough times. And then shout out to my boys over at Hack Racing Team. Cam, it's a tough race for him tonight, falling out of there, but he still had a good run. And then my boy Charles, sucks he couldn't be here tonight. Definitely miss him, and we'll see him next week. But also shout out to everyone over at Full Send. Always a good time racing with these guys. So that's it.
Absolutely. Definitely a good time watching y'all. Well, we can't wait to see you on Thursday, and we can't wait to see what you can do here next Tuesday. But you go down there and celebrate with your teammates, and we will catch you next week and Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. We'll see you then.
All righty.
Richard, what a race. The heat was brought down in Phoenix. And man, going into Vegas, they ain't got too far to go. And whew, it's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, the heat is definitely going to be turned up when they get to Vegas, and then they have Bristol. The season is almost over. I hate to say that, because these guys put on such good race, and they got a really big fan base. Definitely a lot of support between each driver. But yeah, I hate to see that. I hate to see this season end, but next week. I'm gonna say that 42 is gonna end up in victory lane right now.
He's wanting for it.
Yep. So that's my pick for next week. Y'all have to tune in next week to find out if that is going to be true, or see if Chris Essery or Chris Stitz can make something happen. So, well, Jeremy, that's all I got. Unless you got something else.
Well, I do, and if you hung around long enough, the playoffs are set. The round of 8, it's about 99% sure. But you've got, of course, Cameron Starton. He's in with the win. You've got Chris Stitz, who pulled it off tonight. He's in with the win. You've got Brandon Pierce made it. Cole Shetty made it. Chris Essery made it. Trey Jackson made it.
Very nice. Glad to see Trey Jackson in it.
Travis Dart was able to squeeze in, and there is a chance that Nate Lynch will be out of the round of 8.
No.
So as you see on the screen, the points are set. Only possibility of changing will be Nate Lynch and Travis Dart. But to find out for sure, make sure you follow us on the social medias. Check Full Send on Facebook. And make sure you are here next weekend. You asked, Radicus. It's going to be going live at about, about 8:15 Central Time.
Yep, and Green Flag is probably going to be around 8:35-ish after their qualifying. All right. Well, that's going to conclude our broadcast for this evening here at Full Send Racing Series. We are glad that everybody joined us for their evening. We definitely appreciate that. So, on behalf of myself and Jeremy Robbins here at Southern Broadcast Racing Network, we are going to call it a night. We hope y'all have a wonderful night. Well, wonderful rest of your night. And we hope y'all stay safe out there. And we will catch you tomorrow night for NTG HCK Dirt 305 Dirt Series. So y'all have a good night.